Okay, welcome to another Monday Live. I know you're busy, so thanks for joining us as we raise the vibration and share the positive. Every Monday at noon Eastern, I invite you to join me here on YouTube Live as I introduce you to another vibrational guest. Before we begin, the first person to show up on the feed below, you get to choose what deck affirmation focus will be for today, this week. Whether it is the orange, I am vibrational, or the green, I am sacred. So type either orange or green in there, and we'll wait a moment while that is happening and see who is going to come on. So while I'm waiting, I just wanted to share that my weekly reading, COVID-19, The Great Reset. Yes, you heard correctly. That's my weekly reading. So if you're expecting conspiracy theories or the blame game or anything like that, forget it. Don't bother listening. This is about our Great Reset. So check in on it after we finish today. And if you're not already subscribed to me on YouTube, little finger down here, there's a little button down there, a little bell. Click on it, and then you get the sharing sent right to your inbox every time I do something. So I'm going to light my candle, and again, we're just waiting. Apologies, I seem to be having a clicking noise on my microphone, so we will try and keep that to a minimum. There's the candle lit, so we're all set up for our intention today. Okay, Shelly, I'm going to get you to choose which deck we're going to choose from.
Let's go orange. We need a little brightness today.
I know, don't we? We're here in the Windsor, Essex area in Ontario, and it's a little grey outside, but at least it's not white and fluffy.
Yes.
Which I understand from somebody I know in Kelowna in British Columbia. They had snow the other day. Okay, let me just pull the card. Oh, I love it. Number 7, I am blessed to breathe in the vibrational universal life force. And look at that, blue skies, beautiful rays there coming from it. So that is a perfect choice for today. So thank you, Shelly. So our conversation today is Healthy Winter 101. Shelly Ruzgys is the owner Fine Herbs, Windsor, Ontario, and she's joining me today. So let me just tell you a little about this amazing lady. Shelly is a natural health products advisor. She offers knowledge on organic supplements. Her store provides a variety of health brands, herbal tinctures, homeopathic remedies. Sorry, got the wrong teeth in today. Bulk herbs, essential oils, whole food products for you to move forward with your health and start feeling better. So she will be offering suggestions. And of course, nobody can force you to do anything to have a no flu and no winter blues. I love it. Explaining what your body needs in the cold months, especially here in North America. So anybody in the southern states that's sitting there in glorious sunshine, sit back because this could help you too. So as we go into these cold months, you and your family need to stay happy and healthy. And later on, Shelly will be sharing more about a free giveaway. So she has this wonderful free giveaway. Look at there's a goodie basket, a goodie bag for you. So for me, I'm so blessed to have Shelly back on again. She's my local go-to gal. I can pick up all my lovely herb teas and things, all the natural herb teas there, plus any tinctures, oils, and the whole shebang. So I love going into her store in Windsor, Ontario, because she just greets you with a smile and is an expert, I feel, on what she actually does. She walks the talk, basically. So thank you, Shelly, for joining us, and let's open this conversation.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful, warm welcome. I am so grateful. So how do we start off with this transition? When it gets cold and damp like it is now in those transitioning months, our bodies are needing more nourishment because the flu often starts to hit when it's cold and damp. So there's some really good basic nourishment tips that you can do, like switching to some very good soups and stews that are warming the soul and the tummy, and you're feeding you all the nutrients that are easy to digest so your body can store up on them and kind of recover from maybe a little bit of too much summer fun, a little bit too
Yep.
much Thanksgiving, a little bit, all of those things. I apologize. I have a dry throat today. But so soups, stews, bone broths, things like that are rich in
Yeah.
minerals and then just make you feel good and warm all down to your toes. They're key. Your digestive tract kind of needs a little bit of a break. So if you're feeding it easily digestible nutrients, it helps build it up for what's coming.
For me, I love onion soup. That's one of my favorite go-to. And yeah, of course, if you're doing French onion soup, you've got to have a little bit of bread and cheese on top as well. But I love onions, and onions are a natural immune system booster as well, like garlic. And thankfully, I like garlic. So I've got no problem with vampires.
And garlic and onions are loaded full of quercetin, and quercetin is a key player in respiratory health.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It's amazing. And of course, we have in North America is the cabbage rolls and all of those lovely winterized things. And of course, I love my cabbage, and I love my brassicas, I think they're called. If I'm wrong on that, but it again, and the carrots. At the moment, we're very blessed where Shelly and I live. There's a lot of farming here, a lot of greenhouses. So we have lots of tomatoes and onions and potatoes and beans and legumes or whatever they're called. All of that growing around us, and so we are blessed on that. So I love that. So with regard to supplements and things. I'll let you pick up the conversation.
So with supplements, especially this year, even more than other years because of what's going on, we have to have a strong immune system. Our immune system is the key to how often and how severely we get sick. Right? And it doesn't matter what you're looking at, whether it's just flu and colds or whether you're worried about the COVID issues that are going on. You still need to have a strong immune system.
Yeah.
So as the sunlight starts to disappear, you need to make sure you're getting adequate doses of vitamin D. That's really critical.
Yeah, and for anybody listening, the sun is your vitamin D in the summertime, but in the wintertime when it's not as frequent here in North America, we need to subsidize it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And even in the summer, a lot of us aren't even absorbing vitamin D then because we're covered in sunscreen or we have hats on or we just don't get outside enough. So vitamin D is something that North Americans are critically low on in most areas. And it's a key player in how your body assimilates nutrients and minerals, absorbs calcium, how your cells are set up for defense, and it reduces inflammation as well as helps increase your serotonin levels.
Yeah, all of these are important. We talk about mind, body, and soul, but if we have got one of those that's out of sync, it does affect or infect the other parts. So it's really important, as you say. And I know I take my zinc every day as well, which is another important factor that we had this discussion about some months ago. So again, these are easily digestible things that we can place into our body to assist us.
And they're not expensive.
And that's a big key here.
Yeah. Zinc is I like to call him the soldier that stands at your cell door. It blocks it's like it stands guard outside of the cells.
Yes.
And it tries to block intruders from invading that cell. And so it's extremely important. Now, we have to pay attention to our copper levels when we're taking a lot of zinc, because too much zinc can deplete your copper. So you have to have a discussion with someone who knows what they're talking about, so you know your diet and you learn your requirements and how much zinc you need, because you can take anywhere from 5 milligrams up to 50 milligrams safely, as far as I'm concerned. If you were very severe in zinc, I would say maximum would be 100 milligrams, but you would have to talk to a healthcare professional to know that you're that deficient in zinc, because it can be toxic in high doses.
Right. So without going into the blame game of why aren't health organizations that are telling us, to stay away from people, all those kind of things, giving us this simple, because they are simple, information that can improve our health. And again, I'm not into the blame game, but it just seems incredible for me to learn this from people like you, from other people that, are talking about this. And yet it's not a stable suggestion from those telling us to be very careful at the moment with what's going on, to offer other ways to build our immune system. So as I say, I'm not getting into the blame game here, but it does seem strange, I think the word is.
It does baffle me, because to be honest with you, these supplements are easily accessible. They're affordable, and they are very critical in how one's body responds to many things. Why they're not telling you that, I don't have a good answer for you for that.
Yeah, I know. It's just one of those, when we're told we can do this or we can't do that. And I'm not talking COVID here. I'm just talking when we go to our doctor, for instance, our GP, and he said, I can remember many, many years ago having a very strange sort of respiratory situation going on. And he said to me, a lot of people don't realize that there's lots of things out there that you need, rather than coming and assuming you should have antibiotics and things like that. He was a very progressive doctor. This was back in BC, in British Columbia, many, many years ago. And I can remember one of the things that he did tell me, which I did smile about, and we laughed quite a bit about it, is he said, really, really dark chocolate it's very good for boosting your immune system. I'm like, so you're giving me permission to eat chocolate now? And he said, no. Like one little square of like 90%, is it cacao, is really good and will be better than, if you want to eat chocolate, then do that. And he said, but it's very bitter, because it's a bittersweet. But
good for you.
I love
it releases the same chemical reaction in your body as having sex. And it's an antioxidant, and it's full of magnesium and trace minerals, and very, very good for you.
Yeah. And I can remember him as a GP saying that people get to the point where instead of looking after their own health, just come in and want the quick fix. Give me the antibiotics, what do I need? I need this jab or that jab or whatever. And he said, if people would start to look at what they're ingesting into their body and what they're doing to assist themselves, not only on the exercise level, but everything, then, I wouldn't really be needed for all these, he called them, not quite silly, but insignificant blips that we have, which is the cold or the flu or things like that.
A lot of them derive from basic nutritional deficiencies.
Yes.
Our food is not what it used to be. Our soils are depleted. Our stress levels are through the roof. So our cortisol levels are high, which creates little fat cells around our organs to store all of these overflow toxins. So our organs aren't absorbing things properly. It's a whole domino effect that we have that starts with our food and how it's farmed. And you can put the healthiest food into your body, but if your gut system is not strong and it's not fed the right bacteria, and you're not going to break it down and absorb it properly.
Yeah. So I'll let you keep talking because I'm loving what you're saying here. There's so much amazing information that so if somebody, especially with small children, anybody that has small children, because kids get coughs and colds and snuffles and things like that. That's a common occurrence. And I always say to people, that's a good sign because it means they're building their immune system. As they get older, then they'll have more antibodies, I think it is, in them to fight these things. So anybody with younger children, especially with all the restrictions and guidelines that are happening, what would you suggest would be a good regime for them?
So many children are very picky eaters. So at the base of everything is a good multivitamin, not one filled with artificial colors and sugars and sweeteners and things like that, but a good multivitamin that acts like a safety net that catches any nutritional deficiency. Somebody have kids that will eat any vegetable, any color. Some kids will only eat a hot dog and French fries.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to balance that out. Probiotics are always my go-to for everybody. 70% of our serotonin is made in our gut. So you have to feed it the right bacteria to produce that. That prevents the ADHD, the winter blues, depression, anxiety in children and adults. So it's very important.
Yeah, I love that.
It also helps because I'm not here to tell you whether to or not to vaccinate your children, but vaccinated children need a chance to rebuild their natural ability to develop an immune system. So that is really important step, making sure they have their probiotics. Yeah.
I was just actually reading something in an article or something to do with that kids are being going out and basically playing in the dirt. And what it's doing is building up their immune system. And of course, it was always a big joke. And somebody had sent it to me because I always say, hey, I grew up in Britain. We ate dirt. I'm never going to die, because, we did. We were always out playing outside. We never had sanitary sort of sanitizers or anything like that. It was good old hand washing and those kind of things. And now to read that this is what they're doing with younger children to help them to build their immune system. So they're also growing things and learning how to, literally place their hands in dirt, no gloves, no protective coverings or anything like that, because the dirt is actually helping to build their immune system. So I'm loving that. So for anybody that, the winter months become blah days, the blue days, the sad days, what would you suggest in that direction?
So we have a number of amino acids. Amino acids are naturally occurring in the body, but they very often get depleted. And amino acids are a wonderful way to build up your serotonin, manage your stress, and nourish your body at the same time without any chemical dependency. So there's things like GABA, L-theanine, magnesium is still key for just
the number one.
It doesn't matter. That's not an amino acid, but it's a mineral that is just a key player for pretty much any cell function you want in your body. They have to bind to a magnesium electron in order to function properly. So magnesium is a very big foundational player. But then you've got your different supplements and herbs that can help with depression and blues, or just to help you focus better, or just to help you get to sleep better, and all of these things are so important. You have to get the right amount of sleep. You have to get the right amount of daylight and sunshine.
Yes. Yeah.
You have to boost your immune system and keep it going with little things like intermittent cold showers. So you start off with a warm shower.
Yeah.
And you gradually decrease the temperature in your shower till it's cold, because that kicks in your immune system and wakes it up. It also resets your circadian rhythm. So it doesn't matter what time of day you take your shower. If you end with cold, and I mean cold water, it resets that circadian rhythm so you can sleep better.
Wow, that is something I've never done, but I'm definitely going to try it, and I'll let you know on that. Not that I have an issue with sleeping, but I'm going, wow, I had heard that when we put hot water onto our body, it opens everything up. So yeah, the cold would close all the pores back into, they say that with hair, you know, that you should wash when you finish your final rinse on your hair, you should always use cold water.
Yeah. It works.
Which
it's great for the body, for the pores of the skin. And I know many people in the winter, they're achy and it's hard to say, I'm going to splash cold water on me at the end of a shower.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that breathing in hot water releases chemicals in the water that now you're breathing in, and they're working on destroying your immune system and harming you. So if you can limit the amount of exposure you have to those vapors in the hot water, that's so much better for you. If you have a lot of arthritis and you're achy and you think that's going to bother you, toss your clothes in the dryer for 5 minutes before you get in your shower. When you get out of the shower, you're going to put on something that's still a little bit warm and kind of cozy you up, and then you'll feel better for the day.
Yeah. For me, I love using oils. In fact, the one which I've got here is my camphor oil, because sometimes, especially at the moment where we're just having the last of the harvest coming off the fields, and I didn't realize I had obviously some kind of allergy thing going on or whatever it is, and so I do my quick of the camphor oil. I sniff camphor oil because it cleans out all
everything,
all the bunged up or the snuffles, because what we don't realize, and I'm guilty of it as well, is we blow our nose, so it's activated everything in there, so of course it's like this whole mucusy icky starts to build up, and so we blow and blow and blow and blow. So what I find is if I've blown once because I've sneezed or something like that, I have a quick of my camphor oil, and it clears it so that you don't have to keep blowing your nose again and again. And especially at the moment, I feel so sorry when I go into somewhere and somebody sneezes, because everybody sort of jumps back, and the first thing I usually say, allergies, and it usually is some kind of allergy. Like I can't do scents or perfumes or things like that, so I can't go down the detergent aisle without sort of going, I can like feel the prickly nose syndrome, as it were. So that does happen. So don't assume when somebody sneezes they're going to infect you or anything like that. So tell us more about your store in Windsor, because I love coming in there. I love getting my oils from you. I love getting my teas from you. You have some really nice teas there, and also some bulk goods as well, all healthy.
Yeah, we have just about everything. We have mind, body, spirit, something for everybody in this. I have almost every supplement under the sun that you can think of that is Health Canada approved and non-GMO. I don't deal with a lot of the Chinese herbs that are unregulated, or any of my companies that deal with GMOs or a lot of added chemicals and things like that. We have herbal tinctures, we have capsules, we have teas, we have bulk herbs. I have some food products like good honey and amazing alcohol-free vanillas. And,
excuse me.
And
thank you.
Spices, and I have some phenomenal coffees.
Yes, I saw that. Yes, I'm trying to do less coffee, more tea. So, but sometimes I just need that little spark or something. And I love that all your oils are, what do they call it? Pure essential oils or something like that. Yeah. And that's important because, peppermint oil is very good, and some of the other ones and the different ones. And even if you just put them, some you can put on a light bulb or something, and then it just allows it, so you don't have to have a fancy schmancy oil diffuser or something like that as well. So there are lots of ways around it. So for the people that have a healthy immune system, it doesn't hurt to boost it, correct? Yes?
Correct. Because we're assaulted by things every day. Even just having to wear a mask every day.
Oh gosh, yes.
You're breathing in and I don't want to get into the logistics of masks are good or masks are bad, but at any given time, if you're like me, I walk around the store like this all day with a mask. So I'm putting it back on and off, on and off. In the meantime, there's stuff getting stuck in this.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I see people grab it from the dashboard of the car. Well, how many times have you worn it?
Yeah.
Where have you worn it?
Yeah.
So just little things like that, they do lower your immune system, because there is actually some fear associated with having to wear the mask, whether it's having to put it on or not having it on.
Yes.
There's fear associated. So that lowers your immune system by raising your cortisol. There's things like maskne that are happening.
Yes, I have seen that on some people, especially nurses and people that are working in a situation where they're wearing a mask almost like 24/7, and it's affecting their physical, like it's some really horrible.
Yeah.
Icky
and
rat.
There are reports that bacterial pneumonias are on the rise because people are wearing masks all the time, and because there's so much bacteria attached to this mask that you're breathing in.
Yes.
So there are certain things you should do really to kind of protect yourself. Like you could take a little colloidal silver and spray your mask before you put it on your face.
Oh, yes.
But let it dry so that you're not breathing through a wet mask, because breathing through a wet mask is not healthy either.
Yeah.
You can take the colloidal silver and you can put it down here where you're getting all of this breakout. But what's most effective is at the end of each day, you have to rinse out that nasal passage, because you're breathing in. This is where the virus goes, into the nasal passage. If you rinse that nasal passage and wash it down your throat into your gut, it will not survive.
Oh, so how do you do that?
You can do a Neti Pot with saline. I prefer to use the X Clear that we carry in the store, which is it's saline with xylitol in it. Xylitol has been shown to be very effective at being antiviral. So you squeeze it up the nose, sniff it, and swallow it down. You can use just the HydroSense from Shoppers if you really want to. It's not as effective, but it still is rinsing. It's the idea of just rinsing out those passages.
Yes.
And I actually have colloidal silver in a nasal spray, which is phenomenal as well. So
I'm definitely going to have to come in and get some of that, because
and then I spray colloidal silver up there to make sure that nothing's residual sitting back there.
Yeah, for me, colloidal silver, lavender oil are my go-to, and tea trees. They're the things when I'm traveling, because especially when I'm doing talks and things like that, the throat can get a little bit, scratchy and dry. So I just spray a couple of shots of colloidal silver into my throat, and it cleans it up, and it's
awesome. It's wonderful.
A great thing if you've got throat problems.
Yeah, if you feel yourself getting a little bit, you rinse that stuff out, and if there's something in there, then you start to get a little bit of a sore throat.
Yeah.
Spray the silver in the back of your throat, or take one drop of vitamin A and put it into a little bit of water. You rinse it all out, gargle it, and coat the back of your throat. Vitamin A sits in the back of your throat and works like an antibiotic, and it gets rid of things.
I'm just making note of vitamin A and the nasal colloidal silver for next time I come to see you, because I'm going to need some. Well, not need some, but I like to have them in my go-to bag,
Now, vitamin A, you don't need a lot of. One drop, that's all you need.
So the other thing that I have noticed, and I feel so sorry for the people that work in stores at the moment, because they're having to sanitize everything after they finished. And I've noticed a lot of people's hands are so red, raw, and dry, and because they're constantly in chemicals, and if they have rubber gloves on, it hurts because the skin needs to breathe and things like that. So share some tips and some ideas on that, because I know anyway my hands and skin in the wintertime gets very dried out as well. So that's something that I have to remember to moisturize. And I usually just use coconut oil to rub it on what I call the dry bits. My elbows get dry, on my hands get dry because they're in constant use. So any other suggestions or the go-to?
For me, commercial hand sanitizers can be very toxic. You have to be careful. If you can make your own, that's even better. As a buffer, you can add some glycerin, because that will help to make it less drying, and essential oils as well. Those are, they'll be more nutrient, or not nutrient, but more conditioning and more loving to the skin, right?
Yes.
Make sure you're using moisturizer in between, because believe it or not, having a hand moisturizer acts as an additional barrier. So the hand moisturizer is actually sometimes even more protective, because you rub it all over and it sits on the surface, so things can't get through.
So it works like a barrier. Yeah, that's what I'm sort of suggesting to people when I see them in the stores, because, you know, my heart goes out to them, and I think, put a barrier cream on or something before you commence your day, and it's sort of, it's like it's a protection on your hands. So
every time you wash your hands, put some moisturizer on it. We have a product here that has colloidal silver and aloe in the gel. So that's also very good, because if you have a lot of dry cracks and open spots on your hand, that's a great place for bacteria to go into. So you're more vulnerable.
Yeah.
So cover it up with a barrier that's good for you, like aloe vera, you know, that kind of stuff. That's really good.
Yeah. And you talked about sanitizers and things. Do you sell household products in your store that can help sanitize without, I always say, smelling like a hospital? And I don't mean that as an unkind thing, but sometimes it's almost like, you know, I remember, like, we live in a condominium, and at the very onset, it was like you couldn't walk through any of the passageways without inhaling what I call that hospital smell of cleanliness, because everything was so fully sanitized. Thankfully, and I mean that in the dearest way, it's not as intense as it was beforehand, because I would have to sort of walk through sort of covering my nose, because I knew I would start sneezing because of all the not the scents in it, but just the alcohol and stuff. So,
well, bleach. People are using bleach like crazy. To be honest with you, hydrogen peroxide is more effective.
Yes, I've got peroxide, and that's what I use to clean my countertops down if I'm concerned about anything. Just, you know, and I do mine sort of every 2 to 3 days. I don't do it after every single use of everything, because for me, there's just Chris and I in the house here, and if we've got anybody coming, then we do the whole, as I call, clean down and stuff like that. But I try not to use bleach at all, because it is a stripper. Well, look what it does. It can take color out of a product. You know, I've got some of the chemicals that I was using that I was spraying once, and I've got splatters on my tops, which have ruined tops just because of that little bit of bleach touching you. So imagine what that burns on your skin. So
I burned so many clothes with that. I use a lot of essential oils to make my own homemade cleaners. To be honest with you, we do sell some better for you cleaners that aren't as toxic, and we do have some hand sanitizers that aren't filled with a lot of bad things. Like, you want to make sure that the alcohol isn't a damaging alcohol. So we have some good ones there, but I do prefer to make cleaners nice and with apple cider vinegar or white vinegar, water, and essential oils. You know, those are always my go-to, and they are more effective and less damaging to you and the environment. By far than a lot of the commercial cleaners out there.
And of course, one of the things I have is a bottle with peppermint oil and water. And I just do a spray. You know, it also works on all the possible germs or things that are residing in the air. And of course, it's just nice to have that little spritz through. So, and that's very easy to make, just a couple of drops in water, and you can look that up online on how to make a bottle. And it also is good for spraying onto clothing.
Yeah, it's actually wonderful. I use
all winter. I just quickly do a spritz with the peppermint oil. Yeah, it just it keeps it sort of, it freshens it up kind of thing. And, you know, that's something we can do for ourselves. And, you know.
You can spray eucalyptus spray mix with some tea tree oil down in your vents and things like that too. So when the heat is pushing up through there, you're not pushing up a lot of bacteria that's been sitting in your vents forever.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I never thought of that. That's a good idea. All our vents come down from above, so I suppose I could spray something into the vents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
do it that way, because, you know, for us, it's especially when we fired up for the winter and put the heating back on again, it's the dust also that the build up there that creates that sort of sneeze effect, and we don't need that. We don't need the sneezing.
No, we don't need the sneezing, because then, you know, everybody starts freaking out.
Yeah, I as I say, I feel very sorry for anybody. And I know for me, if I'm going to the store and I'm heading out of the car and then I feel that sort of, you know, that tickle we get, and I'm like, quickly run back to the car, blow my nose, sniff my camphor, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good to go now.
Yeah, actually wearing a mask actually makes me sneeze more and makes my nose run, because of the just my allergies or whatever it is. If it's the disposable one, there's little fibers in the paper.
Yes.
You know, whatever it is. So I'm always sneezing. And I'm just like, just a sneeze. It's just a sneeze.
I know. It's crazy. In the old days, we used to say bless you or gesundheit. Now it's like, oh, hazmat suit, hazmat.
Well, here's the thing though. How many of us sneeze into that mask and then keep wearing it?
Absolutely.
Because
and
you're in the grocery store and you just felt it come on, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
you gotta take that mask off and put on a clean one.
That
happens.
Yeah, and I have actually noticed. So for anybody that's going to say mask for or against below, it's actually the CDC are now recording that if people have been diagnosed with COVID, if they were a mask wearer as well, i.e., I'm hopeful that this is going to give more data and more statistics beyond the this or that kind of thing. So they are now sort of obviously either asking people, have you been wearing a mask or something like that, to ascertain hopefully whether the masks are of use to people or not. But yeah, Chris has got one of these mingle masks, which is a clear mask. It's like a bit of plastic, and it just goes across the nose, so it's not touching the nose. It sort of sits on the chin, and it's like a little mini screen. But I've noticed with his, the amount of moisture that builds up in that. And I said to him, imagine what that would be in a cloth mask. All your, you know, visible breath in and breath out, filling that whole mask. And of course, because it's plastic, here you could actually see it, the build up, whereas in a mask we don't. And yeah, it's important whether if you have a cloth mask, which is a reusable mask, you know, that's a conversation I've had with a few people. How often do you wash it? And a lot of people are saying, I don't.
Well, we're sending our kids to school with one mask a day.
Oh my gosh.
You know, they're wearing it all day. They wear it longer than I do, because I take it on and off throughout the day, right?
I didn't realize that.
You really need to send your child with a supply of masks, so that they know, you know what, they have their snack or their recess, they take that mask off and put it in whatever bag you send it with for the dirty masks, and they take a clean mask out and they replace it. They have to do that a few times a day, because these kids are going to come home with a lot of respiratory issues if they're not cleaning up.
Never even contemplated that, because I would have thought it would have been something, you know, like on the list that the schools send out, how many erasers, how many pencils, how many notepads they need. You would think that they would sort of indicate they need X number of disposable masks based on usage. Because as you say, if a kid sneezes into a mask, then hopefully somebody's saying change your mask.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, or, you know, not all kids are genius, are very very conscious of how to wash their hands properly. Mind you, they're getting exposed to a lot of hand sanitizer, which is not necessarily great either. But you know, they touch things. They go to the washroom. They touch their face. They touch their
Yeah.
mask. It's just the way it is. And I understand that we have to follow the rules. I just wish that they had given us clearer guidelines as to how to do that effectively. You know,
and for instance, one thing that, you know, how many times a day do we touch this? And we put it close to our ear, which is close to our mouth and close to our nose. And it's not clean.
It touches every surface. You know, you come into a store and you have your mask on, but you have your car keys in your hand and your cell phone in your hand. You put them down on the counter and you touch something and you take money or whatever. Then you pick those car keys up and that cell phone and you go off on your way, take your mask off. You've touched your face with everything that's just touched.
Yes. Yeah. And that's, we're not trying to scare anybody here, but this is where we need good immune systems so we can fight off this kind of stuff. And this is
where you're getting your vitamin C, 2,000 milligrams a day in split doses. Huge. I talked about zinc being the guardian at the cell wall. So he knocks over the intruder. Vitamin C takes that intruder and kicks them out. They work really well together.
I love these two little soldiers. So anybody, if you have any questions, put them in the feed now. With sort of anything else that you would like to share, Shelly, that you feel, I mean, everything you've said is important and enlightening, because even I've learned some of the things, and I think I've got a fairly open and active communication with my vitamins and all those kind of things that are important to me. But even I've learned so much today. I really, truly appreciate what you're sharing with everybody, because these are things that we would hope are being shared with us openly so that we know. And again, apologies for my clicking and noise here that's happening with my headset here. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's time to buy yet another new one. But anyway, so anything else you wanted to share today with everybody?
I want people to know that colds and flus are out there, and we're going to get them. It's just it's not that we're going to get them, that we're going to get sick. We don't have to get sick. We can prevent getting very sick from them, but we can't live in fear of them.
No.
So the best thing you can do is nourish your body and to talk to somebody in this profession, whether it's your naturopath, whether it's a holistic nutritionist, whether it's, I have Leanna, who's an iridologist, who is amazing. She can look into your eyes and see what's going on.
Wow.
It's just that we have what we need in this world to keep ourselves strong. If we're paying attention, if we're listening to our bodies and we're nurturing it properly, we can maybe if you get a flu, you're down for a day.
Yeah.
A cold, it's only a little sniffle.
Yeah.
As opposed to being bedridden and sick and bronchial and respiratory issues. Now, that being said, there are people who are still going to get very sick, and we can help you with that too, without creating the antibiotic resistance to bacteria that are out there. There's a time and place for your Western medicine antibiotics, absolutely, but they need to work together in synergy with the natural products to build the best working machine in your body that there is.
Yeah. And I think it's important to just sort of add to that, use common sense. If you are not feeling well, regardless of what is actually happening at the moment in our world, take some time out, go to bed, rest up, build up your immune system and things like that. And of course, yes, wash your hands and do all those things. It's funny. I was saying to somebody the other day, I had a British mother. I'm not scared of anything. We would come in as kids and the first thing she would scream, and I mean literally scream at 4 small children coming in through the door, wash your hands.
Take off your shoes and wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Take off your shoes. You're sitting down for dinner. Wash your hands. It was sort of like it was ingrained in our mind, and she'd even check it. That kind of thing. So we've been to the toilet. have you washed your hands? So they were things that we grew up with. And, because somebody said to me, about washing hands, I said, well, doesn't everybody do that? I'm just a weird person. As I say, British mother, not scared of anything. So yeah, think about what you're doing. If you are not feeling great, you're a little under the weather, then just take some you time and replenish and rebuild and use some of the products and suggestions that Shelly has given you there. I always say it's like chicken soup to the soul.
Chicken soup, breathing exercises, work those lungs, move things in and out of your cells with deep, good, centered breathing. Unplug, turn off your Wi-Fi at night.
Yes.
So that it's not interrupting your sleep.
And don't be constantly
go to bed and not be stimulated by the television, by the blue lights on your computer or your cell phone beside you.
Yeah. And that pinging and tinging, which is this total distraction. And I love what you said about the breathing there, because we've become a society of shallow breathers.
Yes.
And if we actually get the breath down into our diaphragm, that's your belly button for all of those of you. So, and you can practice that. Lay on the floor and put a plate on your belly, and then watch it as you breathe in and out. And if that plate or object rises up and down, you're getting into your diaphragm, and that's good for you because you're deep breathing, as it were. So, is there anything you wanted to share? You had that goodie bag.
I do have a goodie bag. So I'm thinking that many people are going to be watching this after work or later. Yes. Yeah. So what I will do is I'll go in tomorrow and see everybody that's signed in. And if you have a question, write it down and I'll do my best to get back to you and answer it. But I'll take everybody's name and I'll put it in a bowl and then I'll draw for the goodie prize.
Yep.
As long as the problem is that I would like it if you are local so that you're able to come here.
You have to be local to Windsor, Ontario, not Windsor, UK or anywhere else in the world. So that's Ontario, Canada, to be able to go to Shelly's store and pick up the goodie prize. So which I love, because that's very generous of you to do that. So thank you. And I want to share that Shelly's store, her information, the link is below, and you can find her on Facebook under Shelly Ruzgys.
And you can also find us under Fine Herbs and Holistic Wellness. We have
Fine Herbs and Holistic. Yeah, I must put that one in there because I had only put your website one in there, which I'll add that in there. So, all right. So join me next Monday at noon when I have another guest here and we share the positive by raising the vibration. So a couple of quick shares outside of the box kind of thing. On Halloween, yes, this week is Halloween week. So October the 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern, join Ida Keatley and myself online here on YouTube, where we are actually here for a full blue moon meditation and spiritual sharing. November the 1st in Windsor, Ontario area, there's a great one-day past life regression workshop by my partner, Chris Lee, who's a clinical hypnotherapist and past life regressionist. I'm going, so I wanted to share that with everyone. And if you check out my Facebook page, you'll find more details there, or you can connect with Chris Lee. November the 4th and 5th, I'm offering an online live presentation of the Vibrational Energy Oracle Card Reader course. So you can get to learn. She says,
I took that course. It's very good.
I know, and you took it live, so you get to learn how to use these connecting, disconnecting techniques and all that kind of thing. So it's over 2 evenings. And again, if you're interested, go to my website, email me from there to get further information. So here are my guests for the next few weeks on Raising the Positive, Raising the Vibration and Sharing the Positive. November the 2nd, Laurie Dulac from Palmer Calm is going to be here on how to winterize you, and she also works out of your store as well. So if you're in the Windsor area in Ontario, you can find her there as well.
She's amazing.
Yes, she is. November the 9th, I have Ida May Keatley, and we're continuing the conversation. We started it about a month ago, and this is going to be called Signs of Spiritual Awakening Part 2, because we're back to pick up this very diverse subject, and it's a very expansive conversation, so there may even be a Part 3 as we continue on. November the 16th, Gina Bankston is back here again with I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost. That bring back memories. November the 23rd, Sandy Wright from Wright Health Centre, again in Windsor, Ontario, with Spotting Hidden Allergies, because
She's great too.
she's amazing. She's looking at allergies and how they can be causing you health issues without you even realizing. And
Yeah,
she is
amazing.
somebody I'm going to be seeing to get that check done to see where my allergies are residing from and what I need to do about it. So every day I try to post something positive, vibrational on YouTube. So hopefully you'll join me. So again, Shelly, thank you for coming back on aboard again, for spending an hour out of your busy time from your store and joining us. And to everybody, I want to wish you a vibrational week. Okay, keep healthy, people, here and here. Okay,
Mind, body,
thank you.
spirit. It's all together.
Bye-bye.
Bye.